a consideration of the minutes and recommendations from a planning board meeting held February the 8th, 2011. A is a public hearing relative to the following land development code amendments recommended for approval and found in compliance with the comprehensive plan by the planning board. One is to amend the definition in constructions, which was item number 1. Item number 2 is amendments of the general development standards, and those are items A through D. The recommended action was to adopt the ordinance amending the land development code.
So moved.
This is a public hearing. Is there any member of the public that would like to speak on this item? If not the public, yes, sir.
When we have these, oftentimes, most of the time, we don't know, some of us sometimes know, what help public things are relative to. But most of the time, we don't know what public hearings are related to. We don't know, we don't have what y'all got.
Right.
And we need that. We can't interact intelligently without that information. And then you go over our heads and don't show us this stuff. But this, I don't know a whole lot about this one, but I'm saying, when you're asking us, the public, to relate to these things, let us know what you got up there.
Well, just to be clear, Mr. Turner, we advertise the hearings twice in the paper, so if anybody has any interest in it and needs to request more information, we're glad to give it to them. And so most of the time when we have items like this, it's typically with somebody that probably has more of an interest in this, and so that they have done some research on it and come to the meetings and speak at that time. But we're glad to provide you or anybody else with the information if you request it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Public hearing, is anybody else on the public that would like to speak on this item? If not, the public hearing portion is closed. Did I hear a recommendation? Motion by Councilmember Rogers, second by Councilmember Bullock. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Item A is approved. Item B is item 8 is a public hearing, and it is relative to an ordinance amending the city's code of the city of Rocky Mount to provide the regulation and licensing of bars, taverns, and nightclubs. The recommended action is to adopt the ordinance. This is a public hearing. If there's any member of the public that would like to speak on this item, we'd ask you to come forward at this time, state your name, address, if you speak for a group, and limit your remarks to 3 minutes. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My name is Gordon Care. I live in 1261 Old Halifax Road, and I have been in Sean for 13 down time. I have a concern about this one. We discussed this one with some council people, Mr. Begans and assistant city manager. We have some objection on this one. They have some clause, they did not remove the clause supposed to be if somebody was assault and battery in any place in the country, he can come and lose the job, he can come and lose his business license, which is actually, it's very, very risky for anybody who make investment on nightclub or bars or somebody's manager or assistant manager, he will lose a job. It's kind of discrimination with this. That's what he have objection for it.
Any questions?
I'm not sure I understood. Are you opposing, are you staying in opposition? And
Yes.
I believe I understood you to say that you think it would discriminate against someone coming here to own or operate a nightclub. Is that your point?
There is a clause in there, if any owner, manager have misdemeanor in his record and he cannot work there, he cannot have a license on his name. If somebody leave the town, go out of town, have your family, now some fight broke out, you charge with salt and battery. Now you come back in the town and you cannot have a license for your business. You're out of this business for 5 years from this town. This is very restrictive, very restrictive, very strict. That need to be removed.
Yes.
Who would like to respond to that?
Councilmember Miller, anybody else?
And sir, I'm trying to get some idea as to which provision of the ordinance that you're speaking to. And I think that where you're at would be like section B. Where it says shall issue a license, chief police shall issue a license for a bartender or nightclub of all the license. The requirements for such license described in the ordinance are met unless he finds in writing there. Correct that portion of the statute?
We don't have,
Or,
nobody has that. I read it.
all right. But you've been to meetings before in the past, but we did multiple meetings. Do you have a copy of the ordinance? Ms. Hinkle, could you provide this copy to the matter?
Councilmember Lewis, push your button.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And a misdemeanor offense, assault battery. Right there. So it's an effect on everybody's business.
He's on page 8,
Which one?
8, 4, 4,
Or then A and B.
A2.
Do we have a statute of limitations on that at all? Are we saying forever and ever, 3 years, 4 years? I did see that, is that?
In the B, it says for which 2 years have elapsed since the date of conviction.
This is effective immediately, or any current management grandfather knew that? Or this takes effect if someone is managing or owns a club and they have a misdemeanor on their record, does that make them ineligible for license tomorrow if we pass this?
As I read it, it's not, and obviously I should let staff respond, but I don't read that it's any misdemeanor, but it is specific misdemeanors. And as all of us know, council and those who follow this issue in the newspaper, the purpose of this ordinance is to get control on the violent activity that's taken place in the nightclubs. So it would be in the interest of that purpose not to have someone who's been convicted of a violent act, misdemeanor or felony, to be operating such a club.
But in this one, we discussed with the city council before they will add they are nightclub, like a Night Religion, they're selling same kind of liquor, beer, everything. They have all bar, and they are excluded from this one. Even the bar, some bar, they close 9 o'clock, restaurant, they close 9 o'clock, they do the same thing, but we do. There's objection. They never addressed that to us. It came 2 times.
I think you're speaking to the exception for private clubs, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Someone respond to that?
And I'll do my best to respond, sir, and I think that what you're alluding to is that there are some entities that do not fall within the definition of a bar, tavern, or a nightclub, but they are a different kind of alcohol licensee or permittee. And this particular ordinance addresses those that fall within this definition because of the incidents that led to us to discuss it. Now, at prior meetings where you and others were a part of that, what we indicated and what we intimated to you is that we are aware of those locations, one in particular, where some of the same type of activities go on, but they do not fall within the scope or the definition of this ordinance, that we would be moving at a later point in time to address those issues. But the issues that have risen from the locations that you use as an example, we have not gotten the same kinds of issues as it has with those that come within the definition of this ordinance. Although it does take place, it does happen, not to the extent and degree that led us to have this discussion. And I think that that was intimated by the chief, and they shared some details with you with regard to calls for service, with regard to those locations, you name a particular entity. But I can recall we did address that in a prior meeting when you and other impacted owners were invited and did come to the team.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir. Any other member of the public that would like to speak on this item?